World full of busy bees working. I ain't never met a free person. I don't get along with these earthlings. I'm trying to seek purpose, fight for something I believe's worth it. For a curse, I'ma reverse it. I don't dream cause I sleep nervous. Yet I keep flirting, face deaf like a Steve Irwin. Whole heat, I'm a drink thermos. So a bartender keep serving. I'm trying to be perfect. Using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy when the weed burning. Traded oxygen, I breathe urban. Till I see curtains, lungs fail and they cease working. There is something that I need urgent. Suffocated, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt God bless. Even bad. Till I see curtains, lungs.
Yo, peep that he says smoke. You hear the ad-lib? We're gonna talk about this song in a minute.
He's working, there is something that I need urgent. Suffocating, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt God bless. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a clash chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer in my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can't outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash back from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear this shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever when the last left. I let the record show. I let the tech explode. Put up the weapon show. Pull up the Mexico. Narcos in Mexico. Pull up the technical. They know the text blow. Shut down Mexico. Tell me the vegetable, body electrical, acid and alkaline, body so flexible. The shooter's feast like a Uber Eats, got a group of these scooter bees, collecting the Uzi and Ruger speak, and American got up in Cuba Eats. The powers they seek and powers they weak, they follow and creeps, powers they be, inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Get to the mountains, hot towers and peaks, flowers and sweets, and shower that feet, the lightning and thunder, the shower the sweet, shower the bees. This not a verse, this our receipts. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt God bless. When you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a clash chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer in my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash back from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear this shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever when the last left. It's like a crack bitch, I attract women, did a bad women. I'ma splash in them, leave a bag with them. Then I raise seeds to be mad different. If I die now, I'm coming back in them. Cause they dad missing, but they cash dripping. Cause they royalty, so they brag different. Ain't no ass kissing, never had feelings. Seen a white victim in a black witness. Black gripping on my last mission. Yak slipping, blowing baptism. Gat missing, he was act slipping. Smack hit him, now we act different. Apparition, the bad vision. The Mac and chip him and crash the system. Uncle Tom, cause you that willing. Fuck the law, I'm going back to living. Astral prisons of black religions. Activism to conversations. Sacrilegious to palms of Satan. Black magicians, my mind erasing. Raise our hands to God we praising. Hustling, the marathon we racing. Nipsey at the finish line, he waiting. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt God bless. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath.
Beaters, joiners, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots on net, all bets, but we not jet skiing in them sunny spots. We're women edible like gummy drops, dummy stop. We're looking for to intercept the storm.
Man, I wish I could play some of this new music. Y'all don't understand. I wish I could, man. I wish I had the clearance. We would have a whole part. We would have a whole album listening up in this bitch. But Just know that we in the lab. Just understand that we in this lab right here doing some things. I promise you. Like, I love Last Breath. I love that song Last Breath. That shit is the bomb. I can't wait to do the video. The treatment that I wrote up is ridiculous. But there's so much new music that I don't even listen to Last Breath no more. I'm trying to explain to you, like, I only listen to that when we turn this, when I do this tonight, when I open up the show, but I don't even listen to that no more, bro. There's so much new fire going on. All right, let's do this roll call. Sacramento's in the building. Peace to the Sac Town. Yeah, Vallejo is in the building. Shout out to Vallejo. Detroit Mecca is in the building. All right, Australia's in the building. Yeah, Narcos in Mexico. Yeah. Yeah, Narcos in Mexico. All right, Chesterfield, Virginia, Philadelphia, Fresno, 619, Vegas, Berkeley's. Yeah, Casey is in the building. South Carolina's in the building. Ferguson is in the building. Eno's in the building. Gary, Indiana's in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, 574 is in the building. Harlem is always in the building. Dark side of Norwood is in the building. Lafayette is in the building. Rhode Island is in the building. Talk Black to Me is in the building. Goldsboro, Arlington, all right, Houston, all right, Oakland, Arlington, yes, Goldsboro, all right, Jersey's in the building, West Phoenix is in the building, all right, Monroe, Chicago's in the building, yeah, 318, you dig? Vegas is in the building. The whole, yeah, this it feels like a dice game or something. The whole hood is here. Cabo Verde, right? The building. You understand? You know what I'm talking about? New Jerusalem is in the building. Shout out to New Jerusalem. All right? The whole earth is in the building. Yeah, Queens, aka Jamaica, Mad Max is in the building. Driving his truck through Alabama. Tuscaloosa is in the building. If you're in Tuscaloosa, hit your horn. You feel me? Citrus City, Cincinnati, the Seven Hills, DC, 312, woo woo, Brooklyn, woo, Staten Island, woo, Brooklyn, woo. Yeah, there we go. East New York, in the building, woo, nigga. Buffalo is in the building. All right, Griselda, grr. Austin, Texas is in the building. Houston, by way of LA, is in the building. Wilmington, North Carolina is in the building. Yeah, we definitely lit tonight. We're definitely lit. If you see anybody in the building that's in the building next to your building, it's your duty to holler at those people tonight. Don't be creepy, because if you creepy, they're going to come back and tell us, all right? Don't be creepy, but, take advantage of this roll call. Take advantage of the fact that your network is your net worth. And, we're all in these buildings, showing up. And I want this to double as a mixer and a mingler session as well, right? Because, one of the things that that I'm mindful of is the fact that a lot of people don't even know that each other exists. You might live in a city where nobody is resonating on your frequency, right? Milwaukee, Milwaukee in the building, San Diego, where y'all at? As technology gets better, as we progress, because technology, according to Moore's law, there's an active law called Moore's law, Moores, right? It says that technology upgrades every 18 months. And it's been consistent ever since this law took an effect. So as we progress, there's going to come a day and time where all of us will be in one building or one room or one arena together, the same way that I'm on a live right now and everyone is seeing me. Technology is going to progress to where I get to see everybody. So all of these numbers that are going up, I get to see all of y'all in the room. Now, let me share something with you. Let me explain to you why the censorship is what it is and why it's what it is the movie 1984, what Orson Welles predicted, Fahrenheit, what is it, 457, 451, right? Equilibrium, the movie with Christian Bale and Taye Diggs. All of these movies that forecast and pre-warn, even Minority Report with the precogs, right? Whenever you see censorship, you're seeing book burning. You're seeing something equivalent to book burnings, right? So when you see the censorship, when you see Instagram taking down your posts, if you say Black Power, or if you say melanin, or if you say, anything that's not something that's part of what they call dominant culture, even though your culture, or if you want to identify as hip hop being your culture, if you identify with hip hop as being your culture, then your culture is the number one global culture, not a culture in America, not just for Black people. You have the number one global culture. So you should be, you have the right, you have the face card to be a global ambassador of said culture, because globally you have the most dominant culture. But if you are not signed to one of these capitalistic corporation, multi-billion dollar corporations, meaning if they don't contract you like a Snoop Doggy Dogg, right? If Calvin Brodus is not owned, if Calvin Brodus is contracted and Snoop Doggy Dogg, the likeness and the character in the LLC is owned by whoever he sold his publishing to, or whoever he signed to, or whoever he's working with when him and Martha Stewart is working. Many of these actors and actresses, all of them, for that matter, in that arena or in that space, the space in the arena where they're artificially given to you, they're artificially put in front of you, they're basically funded. There's all kind of formulas and programs, because the same people that own the label are the same people who are in bed with the magazines. That is all of the same investor families and whatnot. So they're all basically part of one conglomerate. And what do? They own stocks, they own bonds, and their investments, right? And what do we say in The Fear of a Black and More Messiah 2? And what have we been saying on Third Eye Thursday? And what have we been saying on Melanin Monday about how the quote unquote stock market was created, and how the credit system, and how capitalism, and how the fiat dollar, right, was generated? And the story behind that was the American cattle, or the American slave, or the American chattel slave, the actual human cargo that was utilized as collateral to build credit and to build wealth in the quote unquote 13 colonies, and then into the expanding of the United States of America. Yeah, insurance, right? Aetna, right? Insurance, Aetna, this in Connecticut. Insurance. They were insuring all of the human cargo. They were insuring all of these slaves. They were insuring all of the quote unquote slaves that were even that they were able to produce on sex farms and whatnot, breeding farms. So the athletes, because of the contracts and because of the with the carrot that they hang over each one of these celebrities, these athletes, and these politicians' heads. And that's an entrance. They hang the carrot is a key, right? The carrot is a key. And that's a key to a room that will take you to another room. That will take you to another room. That will take you to another room. That will take you to a room that they hopefully, have heard that there's a pot of gold waiting for them, because that's the carrot that they hold over these people's heads. They only dancing to get into one of these rooms because everybody wants to be like somebody else. Everybody wants to, they're all in competition. So they're all in these quote unquote star making industries, like the music industry, like the film industry, like the sports industry. And it's already set up as a competition model and whatnot. The movie industry, the competition model that's set up in the movie industry is that the Academy of Arts and Sciences picks a winner at the end of a cycle, and they decide to award these people. Now, for all of his years in existence, with all of the books and all of the speculation where people said that they understand the process that the Academy follows in order to pick these winners, nobody has successfully been able to say what is the process that they're using to even come up with the best film or the best picture or the best actor and whatnot. They have not necessarily, said we're really giving these awards out based off of merit, based off of performance, based off of the fact that they bodied that role. There's a process. And this year, 2020, the year of the vision, the year of seeing things clearer, the year of, the year of clarity, right? The year when the time or the epoch, not the year, but the time, because 2020 is not a year, it's a time. 2020 is not a calendar, it's an epoch. 2020 is an age, right? 2020 is your car driving you. It's drones dropping packages off. It's your whole house is smart. It's all of these things. It's the cyber truck. It's aliens. You know what I'm talking about? It's World War III. All of that is 2020. So we're seeing the veils. We're seeing things. We're seeing the veils lift up. We're seeing we're seeing things for what they are. So what happened? The award, they was like, yo, somebody leaked it. Somebody, there was a whistleblower, and they was like, yo, this whole thing is false. This shit is all this is all, it ain't what you think it is. Nobody is winning, because they deserve to win. It's all political. They exposed them. There was an expose in the award system. So in the movie or in Hollywood and whatnot, that's the competition. The competition that keeps people, at a certain place. It basically centers around the award shows, because everything, no matter what film you make, how great it does at the box office, Black Panther did $1 billion, right? It was one of the first superhero movies to cross that threshold and to cement, Marvel's stake, not just in Hollywood, but in its negotiations with Disney. And then along came other movies that crossed the $1 billion line. But it legitimized it. But because Black Panther didn't win an award, then the importance of Black Panther, the amount of money that the Black Panther actors, all of those melanated actors, the amount of money that they could require going into the future, it's not that they don't have leverage if they don't win the award. So the whole industry is anchored on the award show, the end of the year reward show, where they reward and they level up and they give a key. That Oscar and that Grammy is a key, and it takes you into different rooms. inside of that maze, inside of that labyrinth of whatever industry it is. When you win the chip and you get them rings and whatnot, those rings are like a key. That Heisman Trophy is like a key. You understand? Whatever these rewards are that they give you in this society, those rewards are used as keys to get you in places. You know what I'm talking about? And if you keep winning those keys, you go into more rooms and you go into more worlds and you go into more places. You know what I'm saying? This is the matrix, and the key maker are the people who are at the Arts and Sciences Academy. You know, that's the key makers. You feel me? And those are the key makers in the matrix that they showed you. There was the Asian, my dude, there was the Kung Fu dude. You know, but that's what we're seeing. So you got to know what's going on. You got to know the game. It's a game that you're playing, you know. And if you're not built for the game, don't even put your cleats on. You might as well stay in the audience, because that's what you're about to play. Ask Lupita and all of those women who, you know, had to go through the Harvey Weinstein door. You know, the beast. That even if people is like, oh, he didn't get found guilty on the serious charges. You see, they don't say these things about melanated men, though. You understand? That means nothing if he did not get, oh, they convicted him on manslaughter, but they let him go on murder. Did they not say that he killed that nigga, though? I mean, what are you talking about? Oh, they didn't get him on an ill rate, but they just got him on a sodomy. What are you saying, though? I mean, what are we doing? Is this Perry Mason? Like, what channel you niggas on? What channel are you niggas on? He's a rapist. So if he got found guilty, right, for whatever he did to whoever those women were who put Harvey Weinstein on trial, if the jury said that he did it to them, then he did it to Lupita and all of these other women who said that he did it to them. I think it's 120. The count is at 120 at this point. Has he been painted as a monster, as a vile? Has he been painted as a walking monster? Because remember, he had he had all of the keys. He was bookman in Hollywood. You understand? He was bookman in Hollywood. There was no door that you could go into that the man with the bussy wasn't in. He was in all of those rooms, him and his bussy. Okay? Hovering over everything cute coming through Hollywood with his hollow wood. That's what he was doing. And those women, and the women are ashamed to say that they was out there swimming with a mermaid. That's why they're not saying anything, because they don't want the tapes to leak. You know? They don't want the tapes to leak. Because think about it. This nigga is an executive of Hollywood, the home of movies, the home of cinema, the home of film. You think it's hard for him to get a hand of the fucking cameras that are the size of a fly? Are you serious? You think he's not investing heavily into goddamn pornography? He's the head of film, my niggas. Like, stop playing. Some films sell faster than other films. These people are about their bottom line. So there's a whole underground market where they're tossing all of these famous women, you know what I'm saying, in ways that you niggas have never imagined. And those videos, you got to pay about 10 racks just to go and watch the videos. That's a fact. They got luxury porn out there. And that's not in the categories of Pornhub. But I'm going to just stop talking. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, everything ain't for the public. You know? But they don't got no smoke for Harvey. It's crickets. He was found guilty, and they was like, all right, on in the next one. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay, on to the next one. You know? When is this R. Kelly trial going to start? That's what they want to know. You know what I'm talking about? When is this R. Kelly trial going to start? So we can start burning his CDs in front of the court. You know, yeah, Oprah had to turn her comments off because the questions are coming. Hey, Oprah, let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? Because if this was the Rascals, that nigga's out. That nigga is Spanky, okay? And she's Buckwheat. They were in the same crew together. Understand this. It's not like they just took pictures when he was coming through, you know what I mean? When he was hosting, you know, a show, you know what I'm saying, at Chippendales and she slid through or something. No. Nigga, they were gang gang, okay? They were gang gang. That's what they were. Shit like that. Okay? They were gang gang. So she had to turn. It's getting so real. This is how the ancestors work. I'm just here to let you know a lot of this is ancestors working. Think about it. Think about the kitchen upstairs right now. How arrogant do a nigga gotta be to be on this planet and be out here acting a fucking fool? Huh? How stupid a nigga gotta be to walk this planet and be a coon when the ancestors that are fresh in the ancestor realm. I'm not even talking about the ancestors who've been in the ancestor realm for a minute now. I'm talking about the last 10 years. Think about the pantheon of great ones. If any of you can understand or perceive what is known as the ancestor realm. So I'll speak it in blurred language. I'll say it in a blurred language so you can understand and follow me. Okay, if you can understand the quantum realm, right? Then I'm speaking to you about the ancestor realm, a realm that you are quantum entangled to. How are you quantum entangled to it? Why? How are you? Oh, because you have blood in your veins. What do you mean, Brother Red Pill? Well, blood in your veins contains the ancestors inside of your blood, inside of your DNA. You are your ancestors, all billion years of them. So all of your ancestors exist in a spiritual form, okay? And the connection is via the DNA. That is they're tethered to you on the ancestral realm. And the ancestral realm just happens to be the quantum realm, okay? A realm that's right next to you. I mean, probably right in your face. It's a realm that you can't see with your visible eye. But guess what? You can't see the microwaves around you. You can't see the phone. You can't see the signals that emit from your smartphone. You can't see Bluetooth around you. You can't see the Wi-Fi encircling your body you can't see the 5G completely cutting through your DNA and slicing you in pieces. You can't see that, but it's taking place. And I'm sure that in the near future, there'll be a device available. There'll be an app where you'll be able to press one button and you'll be able to see everything. And you'll get so scared that you'll have to turn that shit off. Because that is 2020. It was written. So when you feed the quantum realm, when you interact with the quantum realm, when you tap into the quantum realm, when you're able to quantum entangle and you're able to affect things from different dimensions, when you're able to go into places and meditation and whatnot, and you're able to see yourself in multiple situations and multiple different alternative realities, like this is all possible. This is regular. So these are the things that they do not want you to know about. So they'll always have you looking outside of yourself. Because the minute you figure out that the vast universe that they're talking about and the never-ending universe and the nebula and all of that stuff it's always been inside of you, then you'll realize that you know that you can actually take a trip. You know, the same trip that these dudes who said that they went to the moon took. You know what I'm saying? You could take a better trip. You could take a trip that's endless, because the same way that your DNA, if they extended it from your body, could wrap around the sun, is the same endlessness that your inner universe, or your, you know, inside of you, the endlessness, that's how deep it is. That's how endless, that's how vast it is. That's how many doors there is. You know what I mean? That's how many realities there is. You know, but for right now, while you're in this quote unquote reality, just know in the quantum realm, you know, your ancestors are in existence, and they're not just walking around doing nothing, you know. So Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Blair, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Jack Felder. These are great men and women. These are powerful ancestors. This ancestor is what I refer to as the ring of power. Okay? These ancestors can be invoked. These ancestors can be spoken to. These ancestors can be, their works can be edified. These ancestors can be, you know, called upon. These ancestors could be put on altars, and their spirits could be nurtured and whatnot with care and with love and with all of the ceremonial, you know, practices that one does when they venerate those amongst them who are still amongst them. Because I promise you, I promise you, they're working from the ancestor realm, from the quantum realm. They active. Nipsey Hussle is up there. XXX Tentacion is in the ancestor realm. Did I touch on the fight? No, I did not touch on the fight. Altars are like radios. Yeah, they are radios. You know what I'm talking about? They are radios. You know, they're portals. You know, they're portals. I promise you. Can you astral project? Somebody asked me, can I astral project? Can a pigeon fly? Can a fish swim? Can we get a breakdown of all your stones and jewelry? Oh, yeah. One of these days. Yeah. Left pocket silver, right pocket copper. Definitely that. You've been burning ancestor money. We could be everything and everywhere at once. You're damn right we can. You're right about that. You're right about that. Feelings on the market. Well, as you can see, the markets have crashed. And there are multiple things that are taking place right now. One of the things that are taking place is that, hold on. You were in my dreams not too long ago. We were talking about the magnetic fields across the United States. If there's people in the chat who saw me in the astral realm before, because I do get around, just drop that in the comment section so I could talk about it, so I could put it up there. Because somebody asked me, do I astral travel? And I'd rather say, I'll let the family say yes, yeah, if I astral travel or not. Okay. What do you think about using magic? I think that we're using magic right now. I think that we're using magic right now. I think that the magic that we're using is a form of magic. Make sure y'all get this book. He's going to be on the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all get Mr. G's book about Dr. Sebi. I got a chapter in there too. I got a little pop-up on that. See that? The chaos protocols. Right? So go and get that book, read up on that book, you know what I mean? Get into that book. Another book. Got so many books. Hold on. Dark Star Rising, Magic and Power in the Age of Trump. See, when I do my class, when we start doing these Thursday classes, these are the books that we'll be getting a lot of course material. We're going to be building on chapters that are coming out of some of these books, real deep diving, real interesting deep diving. Even to the point where we'll be doing things practically. No speculation. We'll be applying the science. We'll be doing things because these books are powerful. These books are powerful because they're telling you in so many ways what's being done by people who are not going to tell you what they're doing in public. They're having these conversations in private. They're plotting and planning and executing in the public. But they're planning and strategizing and plotting and learning and following protocol in private. And these books have a lot of this information in them. So we tapping in. We definitely tapping in, I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, yes, yes. You know. So meme magic, right? Meme magic. There was a meme, or rather there was an avatar that went by the name of Pepe the Frog, right? I know people are familiar with Pepe the Frog. Pepe the Frog was adapted by white supremacists or white fragilicists on a 4chan network. And Pepe the Frog was radicalized, right? Pepe the Frog was radicalized and he was utilized by the far right during the come up of or the ascension of Donald Trump during his first campaign run, right? Pepe the Frog was almost like he was almost like a sigil in a way, because they were using that energy that they were galvanizing in that one iconic, frog. It's a cartoon and whatnot. But these European, these people online and whatnot of multiple nationalities, because not just a European thing. Look at Trump in India right now. Look at Trump in so many places. It's not a European thing. He has people following him. Philippines, that's one of his biggest followers. Like Trump is followed by many different nationalities who hate melanated black people. So the Pepe meme magic was said to be responsible for his surge in power through through 4chan, through 8chan, through the internet, right? Because Trump has a large internet presence, and on that side, on the white side, he basically had a lot of these trolls and a lot of these internet quote unquote groups working in his favor. Yeah, exactly. Pepe the Frog is a play on Kermit from Kemet. You know what I mean? Pepe the Frog is a play on an old Kemetic deity. There was a frog and whatnot. But meme magic is real. Chaos magic is real. Black magic is real. Word magic is real. You understand? These things are actually real. Divination and a whole bunch of things. So these things are taking place in front of us, in our face. Yeah, Heket is the frog of time. Heket. That's the frog of time. So they're taking a lot of the symbols and they flip them and they utilize them and repurpose them, re-energize them, consecrate them. Sometimes there'll be a sacrifice or something, or sometimes there'll be a mass shootings. Because think about it, in all of the mass shootings that took place in America, you were never exposed to any of the paraphernalia that was left behind, none of the belongings. You were never shown the room of the shooter. You were never shown their computers. You were never shown their diaries. You were never shown what they were reading. What is their book list? What's on their playlist? What are they listening to? You don't know any of that of the mass shooters. None of that. Not a thing. Think about that. Think about that. You're not exposed to any of that. The frogs are also part of the Paut Neteru story, where the females are snakes and the males are frogs. Okay. The motif is about transformation. Like Chinatown, we need more towns. And I'm telling you this, my brother. I'm telling you this, my Moorish brother. I didn't watch the Underground Marvels, no. Yeah, I saw that too the other day. I was looking for the Prince video, and I saw that they were ghosting our page on YouTube. They were making it nearly impossible to find. I said this on previous shows, and I'm gonna say it again. I know that I'm not gonna be able to get everybody's email, but that's why I'm encouraging y'all to sign up to the Facts 2020, facts2020.org. That's a capture page. We're able to capture your emails. It's a landing page. We're able to get your information and store your information, because you not to say you don't know what the future is going to bring, but if my mind is, if I'm seeing what I'm seeing, they're doing a lot of censorship. So chances are we might have to see each other on another platform. You know what I'm talking about? And the way that we get together on these platforms, the best part of us getting together is the fact that we'll be able to do it again. But the only way that we'll be able to do it again is by getting your email. You know what I'm saying? which is your information, which is a way to, you know, still link with you. Remember, YouTube, none of us owns YouTube. This is not our home. This is not our house. You know what I'm talking about? We really chilling in somebody's building right now. And they're going to be able to talk greasy to us and say, yo, you got to get out the building at a certain time. But real bosses say, you know what? I don't really care about that because I'm going to build my own building. Or I built my own building. Case in point, what we're going to be rolling out next month coming up. We have a big announcement, a big announcement. You know what I'm saying? This is hemp, all right, with CBD. For anybody any children that are watching, this is hemp and CBD. And it's medicinal, young man, okay, and young woman. Medicinal, meaning it is good for you, okay? So if YouTube is trying to censor me, and if Instagram is trying, look at that 444 on the numbers count. You see that? If Instagram is trying to censor me, and if Mark Zuckerberg is trying to censor me, then you know what I have to do? I have to actually thank those people because, you know, they're telling me in so many ways, Red Pill, you know, I respect you and everything, but the information and what you're saying is not good for our business. You know, we're in the business of selling, you know, this dynamic of this reality that we created. You know, you're a disruptor in that reality. You're making us lose money because by waking the people up, Mr. Red Pill, by giving the people the red pill, by disseminating the red pill, what do? You wake people up out of the matrix. And by waking people up out of the matrix, it's the same thing like in the movie that when you saw Neo. What did Neo do? Neo unplugged from the matrix. Neo unhooked himself, right? But what did you see in the movie? Neo had multiple tentacles in his spine. Not just one, not just the one in the back of his brain. He had multiple tentacles that were sucking him. They were feeding off of him. Multiple tentacles, multiple arms and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Feeding off of him, feasting on him. So when he got the red pill, he began to wake up. And then he did what? He took those things. He took the tentacles. He took the suction cup. He took the leeches off of them. So when you begin to wake up, you listen to TH3RD. Yo, this is brother named KT. He's a Sabies baby. This brother's a genius, y'all. Oh my goodness. This brother, he knows how to make parasites remove from your body with a certain kind of root. It grows naturally in Africa. This brother is a genius. So KT get the parasites, those hooks off of you. Then you run into a brother by the name of Blue Pill. Blue Pill is talking about that 44. He talking about that Soul Gold Water. He talking about that sea moss. He talking about health and wellness, fitness. So you're like, yo, you know what? I used to go to their hospitals. I used to be hooked on their medicines and whatnot. They had all of these hooks and tentacles in me. They were feeding off of me. They had me on their medicine, sucking my insurance dry. But thanks to Blue Pill and the gold and the sea moss, I don't need that. So I'm taking these hooks off of me. Boom, boom, boom. So now the matrix is losing more people, right? Because now it's Mark Zuckerberg and his pals in them, and the people and the companies that he invests in. Because remember, he's investing. They become investors now. So they're like, yo, we investing in big pharma, big prisons, big beef, big baloney, right? So then you run into this young man by the name of Red Pill, and he start talking that talk, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, you don't need these people. All you need is yourself, because You rolling with the spirit of Garvey, which is being self-made. And look at me, brothers and sisters. I've been out here, flying on my own. You know what I'm talking about? I've been out here on my Tesla auto drive for many, many years, over a decade, working for myself and helping others and working with others, but not necessarily being, contracted or controlled or enrolled with anybody who is not in my self-interest. You feel me? So people are like, wow, you mean to tell me that I don't have to look for a job, that I am the job? You mean to tell me that nobody don't have to hire me? I could hire myself, then I could fire myself, then I could go ahead and retire myself? Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying that's what you can do. I'm saying that there's millions upon millions of people doing that yearly, and you need to be one of them. Then I said, look, not only could you do that, but you don't have to go far outside of who you are, because you can monetize you. Meaning that if this is how you live, if this is what you do, if this is who you are in the I am, and all you have to do is say, you know what? I'm going to monetize my I am. I wear this beautiful jewelry. I'm going to monetize it. You know what? People want this jewelry. I'm going to give them this jewelry. I make music that I like to listen to, of myself, rapping to myself. But people want to listen to it too. Okay, I'm going to share that and I'm going to monetize that. Oh, I make these clothes that I put on because I don't like wearing nobody else's labels and whatnot. I want to identify with my own stuff. So I make these clothes and I put these clothes on. Oh, people want that as well. Okay, well, I'm going to share that with the family and I monetize that. So my culture, my lifestyle, my way of life, my I am is, my one of my income streams. You know what I'm saying? So then the Matrix is like, and Zuckerberg and them is like, hold on, that's not the program. Like, you're leading people outside of, because it's not about black men going to jail. It's about black people still being on a plantation. It's about black people still being black people. It's about black people still being chattel, being property and being fed on and feasted upon by multitudes of different agencies, multitudes of different entities, multitudes of different spirits, multitudes of different insurance companies, multitudes of different racketeers, multitudes of different people who are all in on the fix. You feel me? And you're not, because you're in the public and they're in the private, and you're sniffing around as if you're going to find out some of that in public places. And that's not how this thing works. You've been tricked once again. You know what I'm saying? It's the shit that the private people set up this public domain. Do you know that 90% of internet action is the deep web and the dark web, and 10% is this web shit that we're on right here, the so-called www. World Wide Web. This is 10% of the internet traffic that goes on ever. And I don't know no niggas that's on the dark web and the deep web like that. So there's a whole world going on, and we on the surface thinking that this where it's at. This is where it's. No, that's not it, bro. That ain't it. So the dark web needs purging. I think it does too. It goes to show you that where other people, are at, and it's unregulated, and they're in those places, there's all kind of stuff, unfathomable stuff going on, right? Stuff that you don't even want to know about. because that goes to show you who you're dealing with. And some people would rather ignore it, or if they were to see it, they it's like Bird Box. They rather lift up their blindfolds and be in the room with that thing. You know what I mean? And just be in the room with it and agree to it. Yeah, I heard about the Mariana Web. You know what I'm saying? I heard the Mariana Web. But in the future, not even in the far future, you have to learn how to navigate the dark web. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna want to really move, like how, remember the first scene of the Matrix when Neo was communicating, where was he trapped? Was he not on the dark web where he was jugging? Remember, he was on the dark web. He was selling narcotics the same way that they were selling on the Silk Road. He was selling a digital drug. It wasn't even a powder or anything. He was selling a digital drug, and he was communicating offline. He was not on the World Wide Web. Remember, he was selling opioids, but he was on the dark web, and he got in touch with Morpheus and them in an encrypted way. And then they gave him he was selling DMT, right? That Bufu. He was selling that Bufu, right? And he was selling it like they were selling drugs on the Silk Road. If dark web is haunting, just imagine what Maria Web could be. Nah, I gotta check out that story about Milwaukee. He was selling a program, right? Why y'all make it seem like he was out here selling dope? That nigga was selling a program. He was selling a program. Somebody said there's a whole bunch of lames on the dark web. Look, there's almost 1 million missing women. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of missing children. There's networks of missing children. I think that they on the dark web, bro. So some people need to start learning about this technology. It's a lot of people out there with time on their hands. It's a lot of people out here that have incarnated to go and do things like that. They naturally are, dark web aficionados. And don't get it twisted. There's a whole bunch of people on this show right now to be surfing on the dark web. They just keep that shit on the low. He was selling DMT digital. Okay, well, you already know what it is. There's mad people in the dark web. Of course, there's mad people in the dark web. But let me share something with you. The market crash, right? Coronavirus is coming to America, right? America is not China. America is not China. Okay? America is not China. America is different. Do they show the missing children on the dark web? What are you talking about? Of course they show the missing children on the dark web. What do you think they on the dark web doing? Why do you think it's the dark web? Like, the missing children are on the dark web. There are all kind of heinous things being done to missing children, missing women, missing girls, missing boys, missing men, homeless people. Oh man, like, let's not even talk about it. Like I said, for all of the justice seekers and the social justice warriors it's almost criminal for them not to even act like that shit is existing. Like they're blind. They're playing cognitive dissonance. All of the drunk nights in bars with white people. You mean to tell me nobody has said this shit in a drunken rage about, I'm gonna go home and watch black women get fucking tortured tonight? Or you mean to tell me that none of your Tinder dates invited you over to the crib while they were watching the dark web with some fucking child getting eaten up alive or something by dogs or pigs? And what I'm saying is this: the market crash, right? The market crash. So the corona, we live in today is February. What's today's date? The 25th? The 28th. See how fast this shit going? So today is February the 28th BC, before corona, right? So we're gonna march into Aries. We're marching into this wartime. We're marching into March, the March of Ides, right? Into a corona reality where you don't know what's on the other side of that. And I'm gonna say that when corona washes up into America, which if it comes to America, that it was brought over here, because if it ain't get over here yet, then it wasn't supposed to be over here, and it wasn't. I mean, come on, really? Nobody from China ever made it to America with the goddamn coronavirus. But the day that the shit pops up and it starts spreading, people are gonna lose their minds. You understand? If the shit falls to pieces, they're going to be people communicating on the dark web and on the deep web on how to do certain things to certain people who they've been watching and they've been looking at and they feel that they deem as threats. Okay? So, and they're going to be all kind of networks of people who are missing. I mean, you need to know about that dark and that deep web, because that's the network where the communication will be taking place when this above web is being monitored. And they're like, don't worry, we're watching everything on the internet. Don't worry, we're going to monitor everything on the internet, on social media. We're going to monitor Instagram, where all of the niggers are at. The black people play games on teenage apps. The Europeans and their peons, they're on the deep and the dark web, plotting and planning, passing pictures around of a lot of foul shit that they're doing to people on the low. And putting out hits on niggas. You know what I'm saying? Putting bread on niggas and putting out all kind of things and planning and plotting their rituals. That's why you have these ritualistic lynchings that are taking place specifically in certain towns on specific dates and specific geographical locations that speak to the quote unquote spell that we currently see being fed, spell after spell after spell after spell. And that spell is a spell that I gave a name to. I kind of coined this name. And I coined this name because I saw the spell being enacted. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and the year was 2012, right? I remember it clearly because it was a paradigm shifting moment. This was the Trayvon Martin. I call it the Trayvon Martin factor. Okay. I did 3 blog talk show radios on the Trayvon Martin factor. In the upcoming lecture on Thursday, Fear of a Black and More Messiah, 2020 Year of Fear Part 2. Link is in the description right now. On Eventbrite, put Fear of a Black and More Messiah, Year of Fear Part 2. I'm going to talk about the Trayvon Martin factor. The fact that that one incident that took place in February of 2012 in Orlando, Florida, right? Because Sanford is right outside of Orlando, which happens to be, and Sanford happens to be in Seminole County, right? And this was a ritual of the highest degrees. It was two Masons' children. That Trayvon Martin was the son of a Black Mason, a Prince Hall Mason, and Zimmerman was the son of a Scottish or Yorkish Mason, high ranking, right? Spanish Jew, and this young man was, an Aboriginal, an African in that land. And it was at halftime at the Magic of the All-Star game for the Orlando Magic Arena, right? The Magic Arena in Orlando. At the halftime, the young man goes to get the Skittles and whatnot. He gets murked. I see the death picture in my research. I'm doing mad research. I see the death photo. They leaked the photo. I see his picture. I'm like, oh, they going in. I'm like, son, they going in. I'm calling everybody up. I'm like, son, this is they're going all the way in with the ritual. His body, right? I'm not showing none of this on YouTube right now. I can't show you the slides because of censorship, of course. But one of his legs was straight and the other one was shaped like a 4. It was bent and it was crossed. And then his mouth was open, right? But there's a card in a tarot deck where they have that exact pose, my niggas. He had the exact pose. Please, if y'all do anything, go and listen to part 1, 2, and 3 on. Just go to Google and put the Trayvon Martin factor, and it should come up. Whatever one comes up, that's the first one you could listen to. That's the ancestors, because the ancestors play, they play their own kind of pick 4 type of game. They play their own, everything is not in sequence. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for the shit like that. It's whatever pops up, that's what you're supposed to see. The hangman pose. Okay? They had Trayvon in the hangman pose. All right? They had that young man in the hangman pose, and they didn't leak his picture. They put it out there so the rest of the initiates who know what they're looking at, they deal with symbology. They did it with the Atlanta child murders in the 80s, and Trayvon was a version of that same ritual. They enact those rituals in the Deep South with children, Black children. It's a blood ritual. It's a Hunger Game ritual. Okay? It's a sacrifice that they do with their occultic organization, Ku Klux Klan type of organization, this quote unquote white supremacist. And the blood of Trayvon did what? What did it give rise to? What did it explode in the South? What did it resurrect? You understand? What did it explode? It exploded the ghost of the Confederacy. It exploded the ghost. It resurrected the zombies of the South, the zombies of the KKK. It resurrected them because immediately after the Trayvon Martin ritual or the Trayvon Martin factor, that I predicted. And I'm not saying this like I'm trying to act, you know what I mean? Like I'm out here, self-anointing myself or over-grandizing. I'm putting it on the record. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting, as a journalist, I'm putting it on the record. I'm stamping this shit to say that in 13, because my daughter was about to arrive. She came in September. This was in July when the verdict came in, when Zimmerman got acquitted. And I was doing shows leading up to that. And I was like, nah, this is a ritual of the highest order. They don't have Trayvon Martin on trial. They don't have Zimmerman on trial. They have a black hood on trial. Okay? And then when the photo came out of Trayvon Martin on the ground, he was wearing a gray hood. And I knew that. I knew it the whole time. But the picture verified what I always knew, that the terminology being used about the black hood was conspicuous. It was ambiguous because they were speaking about the black hood. And the black hood was the girl who got up there to testify and for Trayvon. The black hood was all of Trayvon's friends. The black hood was the pictures that they were showing with Trayvon with the middle finger. The black hood was any time that they were showing that Trayvon was not crystal clean. Oh, he had smoke blowing out of his nose. Oh, he had fronts. Oh, he had the middle finger up. So all of that was on trial. Trayvon Martin was already deceased, right? So Zimmerman, he wasn't on trial. The trial was to prove that Trayvon Martin was not the perceived threat. It was not to show that Zimmerman did. The trial was against Trayvon. From his grave had to prove that he did not deserve to die. That's what the trial was about. That's what the trial was about. And the black hood that they kept evoking in the media and during the trial, they kept saying it, they kept bringing it out. They speak in code. So the occultists see the hangman pose. Then they're saying the black hood. Then they're putting all of these people in on a trial. They're putting all of these cameras, they're putting all of this light, they're putting all of this exposure on these people, on these characters, like the young woman who, you know, she couldn't take all of these, you know, she couldn't take all of that helmet, you know what I mean? She couldn't take all of that fragility around her, and they were playing games with that young lady. You know what I'm saying? Talk black to me. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm not gonna go in my bag, you know what I'm saying, at the moment, you know, and drag nobody through the mud. But yeah, they were going in on the sister, you know. And the sister in the whole movie Precious, that had a connotative, you know, connection as well. You know what I'm saying? Because these people playing symbology. Don't ever think that when white people look at you and they identify you in their mind's eye, they're not utilizing a spectrum of stereotypes in which to identify you with. You know what I mean? And usually those stereotypes come in the form of movies that won Grammys and, you know, shit that the Academy reward, that going back to the Academy, is usually shit that the Academy says, no, this is fitting perfectly into our narrative. Yeah, let's give this one the award. This one is the one that stuck closest to the narrative this year. No, this one, Monsters Ball. That shit right there. Yeah, give her the award. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Shit like that. Yeah, Hattie Mac. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the butler. Yeah, give her that. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, you did good. Stick to the fucking script. And for everybody else who doesn't want directors dancing in their videos, right? Come over to Warner Brothers. You know, just talking about we do blackface over here. Shit like that. And they've been having these niggas dancing for crumbs ever since. And it's going on to this day. To this day. To this day. Look at Snoop Doggy Dogg. Nigga. Look at where we're at. Look at where we're at. Look how far we've fallen. The niggas is rooting for Snoop Doggy Dogg to stand up for Kobe Bryant. And he's chilling with Jada Pinkett, and he got Willow Smith ice grilling him. Like she's down with Little Bow Wow set. Look how far we've come. Like, look at where we're at in 2020. You know, this shit is horrific. It's despicable. It's despicable. This is the version of a public flogging. This is the version of this is a version of what they did to Old Yeller. They owe Yellow Snoop. They owe Yellow this nigga, man. I didn't see this nigga go. They didn't go this hard on this nigga during his trial, bro. When murder was the case that they gave him. They drew a line in the sand with this whole Gayle King. They leveraged the Kobe thing, and they drew a line in the sand between niggas and black people, between the perceived threat and the Archon Boule. There's a line in the sand. You could play with it if you want. And that line, Billy Porter is right on that line. Billy Porter is at the motherfucking wall where that line in the sand is drawn. When you cross the other side and you go to get your ID, is the nigga behind the shades is Billy Porter. There's a line in the sand. And Billy Porter and fucking Zion as Zaye is at the border, my niggas. You know what I mean? Searching niggas. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Billy Porter. Billy Porter is at the fucking gates. And Dwayne Wade sent us TSA. He the little nigga searching you. Yeah, that's the line that's drawn. The TSA Bussy Patrol. And Harvey Weinstein is the pilot of this plane that you niggas is flying in. You know what I'm talking about? I'm good. I'm not getting on that flight. You can miss me with that bullshit. You niggas could fly away for all I care. I'm not getting on that flight. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas are out of your rabbit ass minds. You know what I mean? You niggas. That's the line, though. That's the line. It's a lot of perks to come with that. You niggas could cross that line. You're going to get invited to Rock Nation brunch where you go ahead and have motherfucking Salmon with RuPaul and other niggas with Mike Bloomberg and shit like that. You could go and play that deck. You could have that existence. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But we good. We going to be over here chilling. Chilling with the ancestors. You know what I mean? Chilling with the real ones. Chilling with some real stars. Some real legends. Some real icons. Because to be honest with you, it's looking like we got to throw the whole Black Hollywood is damn near ready to get thrown away. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of them is on some dumb shit. Halfway. More than, they talk about perfect balance. A lot of these niggas' scales is really tipping unfavorably. Yeah, this is Moov, my nigga. Yeah, this is that Moov. I know what Hov was talking about. This is that Moov. A somatic machine. Home till you find a frequency that makes it. Oh yeah, let's hook that up. I want to do that. I'm gonna freeze. I'm gonna screenshot this right here and go and do the research on that, because that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We about to take over Hollywood. Who? Who is we? You taking over Hollywood? They said we about to take over Hollywood. Who? I'm not taking over no Hollywood. Nobody's Hollowwood, my guy. I'm good. Nigga, Harvey Weinstein finna be on probation. I'm not gonna be in Hollywood. You know what I'm talking about? I'm scared to go to Hollywood because I don't even know if I could go out there to date. It looked like Harvey Weinstein was with everybody. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That nigga reach was deep. I'm Gucci. Niggas don't come back from Hollywood the same. They ain't send nobody back the same yet. You feel me? They ain't send nobody back from Hollywood the same yet. Everybody look like they been cloned. I don't trust none of these. Nah. Hollywood. I'd rather make a movie on my iPhone, my nigga. I'm good. I'm scared to go on Tyler Perry's studio. You feel me? I'm scared to go on Tyler Perry's studio. That shit might look like Pee-wee's Playhouse. That shit might look like 300 acres of Pee-wee's Playhouse with niggas in the movie theater doing the Pee-wee dance and all of that, bro. I'm Gucci. That's for the sisters. We gotta send the sisters in there on the kamikaze. Y'all gotta go in there and do the work. We just send y'all with the script. We need to make our own. You know, I would roll the dice in Nigeria. I would roll the dice in Nollywood or somewhere first, or I would just focus on building out our own version of Godlywood in America, because who the hell is gonna stop us from building our own studio? Do you know what a sound studio? You know, you could build sound studios as a community, right? You know, you're allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not. You could do a simple equity crowdfunding where you could raise up to $5 million, up to $10 million, and easily build a sound studio where you could begin to produce your own content. You know what I'm saying? That's in the Facts 2020 initiative. That's in our, that is not difficult at all. That is not difficult. I promise you. That's not even considered heavy lifting. And in the movies that you begin to turn out will not only pay for the initial fee to build your studio out, but it'll be responsible for expanding your studio into multiple other studios. So these are the moves that we will have to make, because my babies are talented. You know what I mean? They should have already been in movies. You feel me? They only gonna be 3 years old and 4 years old once. They should have already been in movies. They should have already had their own TV shows as children shows. Because, we were ready and they were ready. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I would forsake any of that before I would take my child into that lion's den. You feel me? I would not do that to my child. I wouldn't take my child to Hollywood. And I would be naive if I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna be the parent that this shit don't happen to. I'm gonna be the one that dodged the bullet. I'm gonna be the one that successfully is with my daughter and my son every single time up until they're 18 when they're interacting with these people. that I'm not going to be somewhere teaching, that I'm not going to be on the road, that my schedule won't be conflicting, that they not going to finesse the mother, because that's what they do. They'll work the mama. Like, yo, you know what, mother? We're gonna get you a Brazilian wax. How do you like that? How do you like that? You want that? Okay. We're gonna get you your feet done too. Oh my goodness, yo. And you see that hair hat? Yeah. We're gonna turn that into a Hawaii, a silky Hawaiian. How about it? You'll be like, oh my goodness, look at you taking care of me. Yeah, you just leave little Jeremy Heru with us, and we'll take care of you, okay? And she's like, okay. So we'll send you an Uber. And then you come back, and this little dude is never the same again. That's how they do it. They can't do no stupid shit like that I hope they can't do it to the father, but it's harder to do it to the father. But I'm not feeding mine to that machine. Bad enough that they're already in this society where all of their institutions be breathing on these children. But we have to, if I'm going through that, and everybody that I know got seeds, and all of their seeds are ready for the screen, then I can imagine the frustration. And that's wealth right there. That's how you build wealth. Like I said before, we are wealth generating people. Why? Because currency is what we exude and what we let off. And currency is translated into currency. You feel me? So this matrix that we are all attached to, like the movie The Matrix, is feeding off of us the same way that they fed off of us when we were working on their quote unquote plantations, or when we were chattel, or when we were being sold as insurance, or as credit, or as leverage, or as collateral, or as labor, or as sex slaves, buck breaking, and all of this. This all took place not long ago. The people who did this have elevated into different places, into international and into corporate businesses. They own different LLCs, different businesses, but they are still doing business the same way that they did business before. The only thing is they make the money off of their subjects in different ways now, but in multiple ways, maybe 6 or 7 streams. So we got to take our current back. We got to we have to claim our current. And if we claim our current and we plug our current into each other, this is how we empower each other. This is how we begin to share the energy. This is how we build each other up, because you're going to have to give that energy to somebody. They just capturing it, and they're taxed the way that they tax. They're capturing it whenever you got to go to the hospital, or whenever you need to, get better. They're going to get some bread from you. You could be a mad Negro, always wilding out. They're going to get some bread from you. You could be a revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with these white folk. I'm living on the edge. You know what I'm saying? Black power. They're going to get some bread from you. You could be out here having mad children and whatnot. You're just like, I'm here to be fruitful and multiply. Give me these babies. They're going to get some bread from you. So there's a way to tap into community, but not the community in the way that we think community is. Not the community in the way that we've even carried community. Community in a functional way. The community as it's defined. And when you begin to function as community as defined, and you move as community, you see results. You see results. And then if you don't see results, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Because if you don't see results, you're not moving with the collective. That's the only reason that you won't see results. If you move with the collective, you see results. It's a mathematical equation. It's 1 + 1 = 2. It's not that, people try to make things difficult, and it don't have to be that difficult, because this shit is not difficult at all. You know what I'm saying? People are difficult, but this ain't difficult. So, you know, this will be the last Third Eye Thursdays that we will be having on YouTube. The next Third Eye Thursday will be a paid class that we will be doing. It will be a lecture. It won't be a talk like this. It will be a lecture. It would allow me to go to a higher level of teaching. It would allow me to dive and to delve into all of the works that I've been, putting out there over 10 years. Case in point. The evolution will be digitized 2020. I'm doing a lecture for the evolution will be digitized that I did in 2015, but I'm doing an updated version for 2020. So that's one of the classes that I'll be offering. Fear of a Black Planet. I did that in 2010 in Atlanta with Professor Griff. I'll be doing Fear of a Black Planet 2020. That'll be one of the Thursday lectures. I'm offering that as well. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be monumental because I'm doing a review of what took place since I did that lecture in 2010 and where we're at in 2020, so we can go through everything that has been going down and look at it through that lens and through that narrative that was introduced 10 years ago that you might not have never been familiar with because you might just heard about me 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, or 10 years ago, but you just didn't catch that part of it. But I did, so I'm the best person to curate my work. Fear of a Black or More Messiah 2020, of course. The first one that I'll be kicking my Thursday classes off with is Fear of a Black or More Messiah 2020, the part 2 of the Year of Fear. Into Deep 1, 2, and 3 2020, Facts 2020, Blueprint 322 2020, Quantum Supremacy 2020, and I got some other things that's coming along. So the classes will be dealing with metaphysics, Moorish science, occultism, Moorish heritage, the mystery school, decoding. We're going to have workshops, the Facts Initiative, health, wealth, and spiritualities. Okay? So the goal that I have is 500 students. I want 500 students. We'll have a global student body. I'm not just talking to people in New York. I'm not just building with a student body in Queens. I'm not just in Harlem talking to the family in Harlem. I'm talking to the globe. I'm teaching the globe. So I want a student body of 500. You know what I mean? And when I go over 500, then we'll turn it into a bi-weekly online classroom. Okay, so then I'll take it from one day out of the week and I'll turn it into 2 days and we'll split it into 2 classes. Then in the second class, we'll teach something totally, we'll go further in. But that's my goal. 500 students, a global student body. We'll start out as weekly classes and then we'll evolve into bi-weekly classes. This will be an arm of KTL University. As we introduce you to these weekly classes, then you'll be introduced and you'll be rolled out into KTL University, where you'll get to now be in the classroom with Mama Pill, KT the Arts Degree, Blue Pill, Red Pill, and the other scholars that we have in KTL University. That it's an extension of KTL Radio. Okay. So if you know the lineup of KTL Radio, imagine what the lineup of KTL University is. All right. So we're offering $25 a class, and monthly we're offering at $75. All right. So, hit us up. All right. Let us know if you are going to be in the class. I'm going to have ktluuniversity.com. You'll be able to go there and leave your email if that's something that you want to be a part of. And as soon as we have the app ready to go, you'll be able to go to class right through the app. You'll get notifications, you'll get homework, everything right through the app. But for now, give me an email through ktluniversity.com. All right. Or you can hit up the Cash App as well and just, put the email in the Cash App and just say class and put the email, and then you're going to simply just receive an email, which is your key to come into class. All right. So I look forward to seeing the student body who's ready to level up, who could respect the fact that, I want to teach, but I'm not with the censorship. I can't have nobody cuffing my voice. I can't have nobody monitoring what I'm talking about. I can't have nobody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't live in that space. You feel me? So the best thing that I could do right now is to take this private information and take it into a private place. Melanin Mondays is Melanin Mondays. We can have Melanin Mondays. But Third Eye Thursdays is an online school. I'm taking my class online. Okay? Because me going to Harlem to do a lecture, that's 2019. 2020, me go to my studio, you know what I'm saying, and do a lecture to the world in real time, that's 2020. Being right here and having the world, being able to talk to the world and to teach the world, to me, that's more wavier than for me to be like, yo, in 3 weeks, I'm going to be in El Segundo. You know what I'm saying? Pull up to El Segundo, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Get some tacos afterwards. And, we're going to do it up with the, you know what I'm saying? We're going to make it go down. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Watching that Malcolm X documentary and other things these days, like Pop Smoke and other little things, just paying attention to what the universe is showing me, that I'm deciding to observe. You know what I mean? Like the narrative that I'm seeing, the throughway that I'm picking up, and just the Malcolm X shit, like just the fact that he didn't have to go to that lecture in Harlem. Like the fact that he was in that spot and he didn't have security. The fact that that shit happened to him in front of 400 people and the people who shot him was able to get out the building. Like all of these things, it was just like, damn, bro. I already know what the future is gonna bring. Like people are not even gonna stand in front of people no more. They're gonna be right in their spots. You know what I mean? Because if the coronavirus shit start popping and niggas start dropping in America, the only way that we gonna communicate is through these things right here. Because I don't want to be in a room with you niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to be in a room with nobody. You know what I mean? You can't shoot me on the live. But, I know that the online streaming platform is a model that that I've already changed my business model into. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking my class, you know what I mean, where it needs to be. And that's right here, you know what I'm saying, in the online university, you know, the online university, more vast than the terrestrial university. Will we get notifications here on YouTube? I'm going to try to work that out. I'm going to try to see if we could work that out where you could get notifications. Um, the best way, the best way is to sign up to the best way is just to sign up to the Cash App. You know what I mean? Give me your email so I have you on the list, you know. But for the people that are subscribers to the channel, I'm not 100% sure. I'll be putting up commercials though through the channel so you see what classes are coming up. I'm definitely will do that to keep the family aware. Even on Melanin Monday, I have a preview or a flyer or a commercial or a trailer for the classes coming up on that Thursday to let you know what's going on. Okay. All right. I got you, Tracy. You definitely know. I was going to show you my book. I got my whole book with all of my students. So everybody that puts the money up, you automatically become a student. You know what I mean? And then we take it from there. But, you know, I look forward to having about 500 of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we got work to do. And, you know, we got some treats. And we're going to level up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to level up. You know, if all is well, if everything goes as planned, we'll have the green screen. You know what I'm saying? We'll have the green screen background. And we'll be able to do some things. So, you know, rock with me because I rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Trust me because I trust you. You know, believe in me because I believe in you. And let's make some things happen. You dig? But yeah, I got some things that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I still got to get ready for this lecture on Thursday. So I got studying and a bunch of things, but it's been fun. All right. And we're gonna tap back in Melanin Mondays. All right. So love and light to the family. Peace.